Let me at him!
Well, there it is. Hello, welcome to the final for the FML Free-for-All Cup VI. We're going to be playing on Deadlock, which is a pretty interesting map for a free-for-all situation. There's a lot of gold mines, but the players are somewhat close to each other. This is typically a 4 versus 4 map, so when you think 4 players are on it, well, it kind of doubles the map size to some degree. But it all depends on where they spawn, and yeah, this is quite interesting. So we're going to look into this, and starting us off in the bottom right position on Deadlock is going to be Erinkus, who is our green orc player. You've seen him in one of the games that I casted earlier today. And, well, he's going to be fighting it up against the Great Wall, who's chosen to play Night Elf. Did he choose Night Elf? Or was he random? Either way, we saw him as well. He was in the round 2 game. And he's just slightly above. He was undead, and he dominated as undead. So it's really curious to see him actually actively pick Night Elf now, unless it was due to the choices, the race choices of his opponents. Noex, who we've seen before in previous casts that I've done of free-for-all games, is a good competitive player, and he is the human player. Looks like the grey human player. And he's going to be at the top position, so he's slightly further apart from the other two, because bear in mind that these two are next to each other in terms of player spawn positions. Then you've got another player spawn here, and then here. So Noex knows this. He's already scouted and sees a gap, so as soon as he sees another player, he knows he's at least got some safety net there. And he's going to be starting off somewhat slow. No altar by the looks of it. So he's not too worried about getting his hero out too soon, which is somewhat surprising because there's plenty to do with your hero early on, unless he's going for a neutral hero or something. But there's lots of green camps you can keep yourself busy with if you can't do anything tougher. And then again, we've got like a spawn difference here. So there's a spawn missing, and then a position here for Rory Mercury, who I haven't seen so far in this series. So he must have been a victor of one of the games that I didn't manage to cast. And he is the purple orc going Blade Master, relatively standard, and he has potentially the best position. But again, this is debatable as to how the other players play. It's the best position at the start, but later on everyone might end up teaming against you, so you've got to consider that. But yes, he has got a gap here and then 2 gaps before the next player. So remember that, okay? That's pretty important, having that much space to work with. Yeah, this should be a tavern hero, especially since the footman is right by the tavern. It's certainly not going to be Naga Sea Bitch first, but I'd be curious to see that. This is a great spawn position, by the way, for Aaron, because getting the Centaur Sork with your Blade Master, you can pick up, well, he's not a Soul Scroll at Town Portal, but you could pick up the Circuit of Nobility from the shop. But he's going to get Gloves of Haste, which is a really good item for Blade Master, so that's a very nice pick up there. And good experience from that Creek Camp. Alchemist. Everyone is obsessed with the Alchemist. Going first with the Alchemist might be enough to actually power him up to a certain level. So, very interesting choice there from Noex. And since it's going to be his first hero choice, like I say, he should be able to level it up to a degree where it's going to be quite interesting to watch. The Great Wall showing us his Night Elf skills now, where we used to... Seeing him as Night Elf feels really weird now after he just did such a great job as an undead game. Undead player previously. And the Beastmaster, first hero. Interesting choice. You can certainly make that work. Not sure how strong it is in the late game though, because the hero himself doesn't deal with that much damage. Obviously his minions do, but they can be countered by Dispel and things like that, so it just depends on how much Dispel and Control versus summons that the other players have in the later game. We've got a tech going on for Rory right now, and for Aaron, who's actually started his a little bit beforehand, moving into a War Mill. No War Mill so far for Rory. No doubt an expansion going down for Noex here as he clears out this creek camp up here. So he's got multiple choices. He could go for this gold mine or this one, so I wonder what made him go for the one on the right of him, because arguably so, the expansion over here is closer to his main. Look at the distance there. It's much shorter, whereas this is quite a bit more of a trek. It's far more exposed, so maybe it's because it's harder to get, and if you can get it secured and towered up first of all, it'll be easier in the long run. He might be able to catch Great Wall going for a relatively greedy creep here, because this isn't the easiest creep can to do. It's orange. He can do it, but it's going to It's going to be a little bit tough. He might have to wait a while, but he's been lucky because it looks like Noax hasn't noticed him, or maybe he did. It's interesting. Oh, he's looking for a potential expansion, harass. What's he going to do? Oh, militia are coming in. Militia are coming in. Here we go. It's just going to get nasty. This isn't even an easy creep count to do when you're not being harassed. Oh, hang on a second. Noax might actually see diplomatic things and decide to leave him alone, but I don't know about that. I think I would seize the opportunity, because they're screwing you over at the end of the day as well. Ooh, that's harsh. Okay, so he's lost kind of an opportunity there, and Great Wall gets to get some solid creeping done as well as powering up his Beastmaster. There's some time wasted there for Noax. So I know that you don't always want to upset players, but I think under circumstances, if you already have militia on their way, I think you kind of have to utilise them and make the most out of it, really. But there you go. It is what it is. It is. It's happened. It's done. So he's decided to relocate these militia over to the middle expansion, which, you know what, is a good enough answer. If I was questioning what he was doing earlier just a moment ago, this makes me feel like, okay, I can understand what you're doing. You're not pissing off the player and you're still getting an expansion. You just moved it elsewhere. However, it's really unfortunate timing because just as you're doing that, a level 3 Blade Master is moving in and has got a bunch of peasants to pick on. Oh my god. Does he do it though? Does he want to piss off the player? I think he goes for it. That's a lot of experience to go for, so why not? And he's asking for peace so he can get the expansions. Oh. They've agreed to peace, but that means that expansion will go up. Is that... It's not necessarily a bad thing for Aaron because, again, Noax is quite far away from him in terms of player spawn position, so Noax getting the expansion is more of a threat to the immediate threat to actually Aaron. So, you know, the friend... the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Think of it that way, that old phrase. You say come to Canada. Much warmer? Ah. Is Canada much warmer than Britain? I know Canada's cold. It can't be warmer than Britain. Surely. Oh, the Blade Master's critting like a crazy bastard and he's only level 3. Peace. Peace be with you, friend. No, don't attack my archer. Mercy, please. Doesn't look like Rory wants mercy, though. Okay. Are we going to see a medicine man be picked up here? I think the crowd want it. Did the crowd get it? Will it happen? No, it's not going to happen. He walks away just as it hits daylight with no interest in picking it up by the looks of it. The expansion is secured for Noax. The expansion is secured for Great Wall. 2 of them, bear in mind. And the second one almost done for Noax. So 2 expansions for the Human and Night Elf player. 1 expansion for Aaron, the Orc player at the bottom right. And an expansion secured for Rory, with his position is going miles out. Which is actually a very clever move because he's securing it with towers. If he didn't secure it with towers, it's a lot more risky. But what you've got to think about here is when you're creeping, you go in... If you know you've got the space to do it, you want to take as much territory or creeps that belong in a territory of your opponents. And hopefully these towers go up just in time, especially since he asked for peace. I think that's going to be awkward indeed, because he secures this expansion. That means this expansion's easier, and this expansion's even easier. Whereas if he took this expansion first, it's going to be much harder to move towards this expansion point. Do you see what I mean? So that seems obvious, but that is definitely the case, and that's why you're seeing him put his expansion miles away from his main, because in the long run he could have a whole chain of expansions. And it kind of looks like Noax is moving towards that reign himself. Like he's got expansion here, and certainly planning on getting another expansion over here. And, well, he's creeping the next spot, maybe just for experience for now, but also opening up for another potential expansion. Whether he can get away with it so close to Rory is another question, especially if Rory goes towards Wind Riders, which he may well do. We'll have to see how these players play it out. Ah, there we go. You'd have to excuse me, I'm going to be eating a little bit during this, my soup. Because I've been casting these games simultaneously one after the other pretty much. So I haven't really had much time to eat. So I'm going to have to do it now. Medicine Man. If you kill this guy, it's level 5. So it gives you a fair chunk of experience, like an Ogre Magi. Think of it that way, it's like killing an Ogre Magi. 600 health isn't that easy to chop through, but I love the spread of human tails like this. There's something more threatening about them when they're spread out like that than when they're all close together. Don't know what it is. It just makes them a nightmare to deal with. It's actually quite an effective strategy to do that. I like this Sentry Ward here. Ah.
The game where everyone's a fucking lucker except for you.
Kitten be bunnies.
Okay, Kitten Bee Bunnies apparently. You heard the man. Thank you very much, Hassan the Boob Slayer. Appreciate the donation. It's very kind of you. Kitten Bee what? Is that the new meme? Kitten Bee Bunnies. I'm out of the loop. I'm out of the kitten loop. I'm more of a budgie man myself, to be fair. Okay, so I tell you what, I did mention the gold mines at the start when we were loading this map up, and you can see they are going to be a very key part of the whole gameplay that we are yet to witness in this game, because everyone has got an expansion and then some. Rory's got 2 expansions. I'm going to have to keep going over this. Aaron's got 2 expansions. Great Wall's got 3 expansions, and Noex has also got 3 expansions. So if you think about it, 2 expansions is the minimum amount of expansions that the lowest player has. Do you know what I mean? Like the player with the least amount of expansions still has 2 expansions. Now I'm a bit scared about that because that means that players will have a lot of gold, which means the games might be drawn out too long. But we could also have the benefit of players frivolous. Oh god, whenever I can't say a word, it only gets worse when I keep trying to say it. That's a nasty time for the Alchemist to catch out, but luckily his Chemical Rage is pretty handy there. Frivolent. There we go. I just had to take a moment there and think about it, and then I could come back to it. Yeah. Players might be a little bit more frivolent with their cash and build up larger armies and have big old battles. The Great Wall being ganked from behind. No peace for this panda. Oh, he's going to lose the level 5 medicine man. No. Down it goes. He says, stop the crossfight map. There's so many politics going on in free-for-all. It's cross-map, so we can't. It's cross-map, so we can't fight. Oh my goodness, he's not letting up. Rory is after blood. The panda is down. The Chinese will not be happy. Oh goodness me. You let Hume take 5 expansions, he says. He's not happy at all, and go for him. To be fair, he saw an opportunity and he took it. He just wants to level up that Blade Master for imbalance. I think you could find sort of like poking a few free kills here and there without completely pissing off a player, if you know what I mean. He won't be happy, the Great, about it, but I don't think he'll change his play against Purple any differently because of that. So Purple may as well get that panda, you know what I mean? You may as well get that extra unit or extra hero kill that he can do early on before the politics become really sort of like dire and people have like 80+ food armies, and then you really don't want to upset anyone. Right, I'm taking another swig of my soup whilst you look at whatever the hell's going on here. Oh really? He's just going to avoid that? Here we go. That's something to look at. Quick. No, not doing that. Fine. Being awkward. I get it. I understand. Oh. Rory's going to move on to his 3rd expansion. I still haven't taken a swig out of this soup. It's in one hand right now. If only you could see. But you can't! The webcam is hidden. Makes it easier for me to cast. I can be a bit more relaxed, I suppose. Without the pressure of the eyes upon me. You only have my voice to worry about. And that should be enough, considering this is a shoutcast. The whole point of this is really my voice, not my fucking face. Ah, okay, the fight is on. Green on green. Apparently Noex has won already. So congratulations to Noex. He will be taking the prize of $155. So congratulations Noex on your prize. Spend it well. I jest, but genuinely the actual prize for this is $155, so it's actually a little bit on the line here that the players can certainly definitely enjoy. So it actually is quite important to win this game, to be fair, when you know you've got a fair bit of cash that you can come home with. And even if you don't win, each of the finalists get $25, which is a great way to do it, I think, because if you make it to the finals and you don't win, or even if you come last in the finals, you still get $25. So it's like $25 for 3 of the finalists, and the 4th one the one that wins gets 155. So it's like a good way to put it. You still get a fair bit. $25 is respectable. It's still nice for participating. And then $155 is very nice to walk away with. Oh, the hate against peasants. Noix doesn't like... Oh, look at this. This is like one of Sexy Time's custom games, isn't it? What's that tower one that he likes? Oh, I forgot the name of it now, but you have to... You only get so much wood, and you can build one tower for one bit of wood. You get like 19 wood, and you have to build 19 towers to try to stop the Acolyte. Slow him down. That's what this reminds me of. This map's quite hard to keep track of. There's quite a lot going on, which is going to be good for me, I suppose, because there's all sorts I could be looking at. The battles are going to be a bit sparse, I think, because the positioning where people are. The most battles that are going on right now are people killing their own units from the looks of it. But in terms of, like, players' buildings and all over the map, isn't it, really, when you think about it? Okay, lots and lots of buildings for the Great Wall. I can kind of understand it, though, overemphasizing it, because the Night Elf can always uproot their buildings and they can be a form of defense. You know what? Steam tanks are going to be a problem, but maybe he's anticipating, like, future mass steam tanks. Oh, wow. Rory's the most aggressive player here, I would say, and he's going to town on Noix now. He's going to piss off all the players. Pitlord, what the Great Wall. Our previous undead player. Beastmaster, Panda, and Pitlord. A curious combination. And this is a human combination that we don't often see with the Alchemist. No Archmage. I wonder if that's because of the art. That's because of the map that's decided that. I don't know. I'd like to know what Noix is thinking. But he's got no Archmage. So he's gone for pure strength heroes here. So he should be quite good in big battles later on. But at the moment, he's struggling with that mountain. Excuse me. He's got Staff of Sanctuary on him, but I don't think he has Staff of Sanctuary on the other heroes, so he needs to put it... He needs to swap it over. Oh! Rory was anticipating the next Stormbolt and the next kill, so... Rory was actually the one getting out where I thought Rory would be okay in that situation. But he anticipated the next Stormbolt, which would have turned the tides. His human base looks very scary to deal with. It's very nice, actually. Okay. Tiny Great Hall. That's an interesting item. Because it's going to set up another expansion. Well. 1, 2, 3, 4. Arian actually has the most expansions, I think, now. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Oh, wait. 1, 2, 3, 4. So... Both the Orcs, Arian and Rory, actually have the most expansions, with Noix being third. Well, second, really, because the others are joint first. He's second with 3 expansions. And we got Great Wall with no expansions filled up. So he's in high upkeep. So he's got the expansion. Oh my god, where did they all come from? Although, to be fair, he had a lot of buildings, so he's suddenly hit that critical point. He's basically looking to pick a player out right now. Look at this, he's gone 100 food. That's quite crafty, actually. It's pretty clever. He's built all of that. He's done very slow economy. Not many units, just a few heroes, just to get by. And he's like, boom, try and take a player out before they can react, because everyone's going economy on this, as you can see, like 3 to 4 expansions each. Yeah, you can imagine that they're focusing on economy. 53 food, and that's with units building out of these production facilities. So this is actually very clever. But obviously this is a time watch right now that's going on. Great Wall is up against the clock, and he has to destroy Arian as fast as possible and not take really any damage in the process of doing so, that he gets slowed down, that he has to retreat. He has to keep this going. He has to maintain this, and he could well take an entire player out of the game simply because that player just didn't quite foresee this coming. You only had a small time gap to actually spot all those units coming towards you, I must admit, if everything's being built very quickly. But it looks like he's realised he's somewhat screwed right now, because shims, they are the siege machines from hell. They fly and they slice through buildings like butter. It's ridiculous. So you're going to have a very tough time versus them. And so many of his production facilities are in this vicinity. He's desperately trying to get some bestiaries out over this expansion. He's got barely any wood. There's no shredder on this map, by the way, so that's the reason why that is. Everyone's got a lot of gold, but wood is going to be an issue. And we've also got Nox that's actually giving Rory a hard time. Nox is secure in potential expansions further towards his opponent, although then again Rory's giving some hell towards Nox as well. So there's a bit of sort of like ruckus between those two, trying to take out each other's expansions. The first one to win is the first one that's going to basically win, I guess, out of all of them, really, because it is the key to kill the expansions, kill that gold coming in. But to be fair, when you got that much gold, you got a lot you can sit on. And Nox, 14,000 gold is crazy. So the Great Wall destroyed that. Is he going to carry on? What's he up to? Oh, he's going for the peons. That's why he's running back this way. I get it. I get it. Oh, we got a teleport. So Nox is actually deciding to retreat back first. So that's going to stop the harass versus the expansions down here. Because that expansion gets to survive. This gets to survive. That one's lost. But Nox actually got to keep all of his expansions. So he's definitely with the advantage. And the advantage he also has a teleport in there as he gets closest towards Purple's expansion down here. So that's really, really a good move for Nox there. That works in his favour in multiple ways. Also a huge battle going on here. I say huge, I just basically mean a slaughter really. Because it's still a bit of an orc army versus a scary night elf army that's pretty much almost maxed out completely. Fully upgraded as well. Look at that, 3-3. So Great Wall has just played this game where he's upgraded everything over the entire period of the game and just built everything at once. So quick. That is fearsome, and I don't see how Aaron can come back from this unless the other players give him a break, but judging from what we're about to see right now, it doesn't look like he's going to be given much of a break. Oh wait, changed your mind, did you? No? Yes? No? What are you up to? Some tactical thinking going on there. This is all over the place, this map. It's all over the place. Griffins are aplenty. Still underneath the 80 food cap, which is very nice for Nox there. So his mass amount of gold is still going to be rising at a reasonable rate because he's only going to be taxed about 70%. Oh, big battle going on here. It looks really good for Rory. Bloodlusted up on the Blade Master. We know how much damage that can do, especially when the crits start going off and the Shadow Hunter's going to town as well. Very nice auras here. Scourgebone Chimes. Very, very nice indeed. Great for the Blade Master. Makes it very difficult to kill. Slicing through all of this. The human army is definitely struggling to stay alive. Alchemist level 5. Able to put out a bit of damage himself but not compete on this level. The Blade Master's going to town. There's Aaron. He's somehow coming over here for some reason. That's really bizarre the way he just kind of walked in there. Don't mind me. You guys carry on. And yeah, the human Nox just trying to dance around a little bit here. He's doing okay actually versus Rory. Despite how the burst damage of Rory was going off there, he's okay. But Aaron looking for a slight opportunity to piss off even more players. Yeah, you might want to get out of that. Very good scroll of speed. You're very lucky that the Mountain King didn't have a Stormbolt in hand there, otherwise that could have cost you. Gives Rory a bit of time to return back and recover. He's got loads of mana on this Blade Master. He must have kitted out with some of his items. He's going to finish off those priests and potentially the Griffin as well. Tauren Chieftain's still strong enough to take a few hits, but even at level 3 he's taken a huge battering from the Chemical Rage Alchemist and the focus from the Paladin and the Mountain King. That's a really good combo, and I can start to understand a little bit more why this Alchemist has been picked. When you can get that combo of Stormbolt and then the Chemical Rage from the Alchemist, it's just allowed to hit that unit or hero for like a good 3 seconds or so. There's a lot of damage being put out there. A lot of damage. That's the strangest night elf looking base I've ever seen. You know, the thing is poor Aaron actually hasn't got anything. That is all he's got left. And even that is going down. The Great Wall is not taking any prisoners here. That is it. What can you do? Everything's been destroyed. And it wasn't necessary evil. It's actually very clever from the Great Wall, to be honest there. He bided his time. He was a little fortunate that Nox decided to not punish him like earlier with the militia and stuff like that, and give him a harder time. It does look like Aaron is out now because he is literally out of time. All of his buildings are destroyed, so that's unfortunate for the fella. He was a great player, but he just couldn't deal with such a rush of units, just 100 food out of nowhere, basically. I mean, obviously it took a little bit of time to get to that stage, but it really did feel that way. It just came out of nowhere, and that's it. You can have all the gold in the world, but if you aren't prepared oh my god, this Tauren Chieftain is again, the level 3 Tauren Chieftain have the hardest time in the world surviving versus a Stormbolt and Chemical Rage combination. My goodness. That Tauren Chieftain is not going to level up anytime soon. So Nox, whilst we can criticise him for not giving Great Wall a hard time, he may have made the right choice in doing so, because he's had a lot of success taking over the top left side of the map where he will be contesting versus Rory. So far his skirmishes versus Rory have gone very well in his favour, so we can safely say that this is pretty good for him right now. He says that Nox has won easy, but I don't think Nox has necessarily won that easily. The Great Wall is a very strong player, as we've seen in the previous game, and he's got a lot of expansions, a lot of resources pumping away, so the only question really is what it comes down to is, will the Night Elf army be able to deal with the human army? Having said that, if you were to say no, perhaps the hero combination of Beastmaster, Panda and Pitlord might sway you to think otherwise, because that's such a bizarre combination that maybe it will work against human in some strange way. Versus Alchemist, Mountain King and Paladin? Would that work? I guess maybe. I mean, Pitlord will actually technically reduce a lot of the damage that the Alchemist is going to put out with Howl of Terror, which is kind of the main source of DPS for the human player, aside from the Griffins, is the Chemical Rage. So it's kind of a good counter, dare I say. And Nox is moving in for the kill here. He's not holding anything back, is he? He's going right to the back of the Orcs base. Rory is struggling to survive. Can he get any bats out to just bring down these Griffins? Nice Hex there on one of the Griffins, just trying to reduce the numbers there. He's having to teleport in his own base. You know it's rough when that's going on. Tanks on the other side, so they might be able to catch him out wherever he teleports to. Bats coming in. Might be able to do a little bit of damage to Griffins, but he needs to keep pumping them out as much as possible. He's still low on wood. That's the catch on this map, is it makes you think you're doing better than you are. And down goes the Shadow Hunter. This is looking really rough for Rory. Just Nox running all over this base with a level 6 Alchemist and 500 mana. That means 150 mana is how much it costs, okay, I think, for his ultimate, his level 6 ability, which I can't remember the name of it, but it's basically a gold thing. He kills a unit and exchanges it for gold. So think of it like Charm, except you don't get to keep the unit, but you get gold instead. So if he uses it on an enemy shim, you get something like 75% of the gold worth. In fact, to be fair, I'm going to have to look it out, because again, I so rarely see Alchemist. I so rarely play Alchemist that I actually can't remember exactly what his ability does. I'm actually going to look it up for you right now, because I'm that damn freaking curious. So give me a second and we'll find it out. Although we need to have a look at what's going on over here whilst I'm doing that. Pitlord down! Not able to get his Howl of Roar off versus the Chemical Raged Alchemist. That was rough indeed. But the Shims are doing fairly well versus the tanks. It does help to have the -4 armor from the Fairy Dragon. The Fairy Dragons? Fairy Fire of the Talons. Okay, here we go. We're getting to the source here. The Alchemist. His ultimate. Oh, I was totally off. His ultimate is called Transmute. But I am correct in terms of what it does. It kills a target unit instantly, transforming it into gold, which is added to your available gold. Transmute cannot be used on heroes or creeps above level 5, but it can be used on player units. So, for example, a Frostworm. You could use it on a Frostworm, a 7 food unit. I don't know whether you get the full gold back, though. It doesn't actually say it on this website. I assume you do. That's a lot of gold to get back. I think you do get the whole gold back. And even if you don't, even if you get 75% a lot, that's still a lot. Rory trying to take out a few things here and there. Getting some nice exchanges here versus the Griffins and a couple of towers. Not too shabby for taking a little bit of damage on his Blade Master. But his Bats have actually been doing a great job versus Noax, who doesn't have many towers defending these other expansions. He's preoccupied versus the pesky Great Wall, who is really a Great Wall. Look at this. I mean, look at that. That's why you got all those Ancients of War, so they can deal with the siege engines. They won't deal very well versus the Griffins, but there's still something whilst the rest of his army's going to town. Panda's also a really good hero here versus the siege engines. One of the best, to be honest, because of the breath of fire. Fairy fire's very nice in this situation as well. It allows him to focus down these siege engines almost as though they don't have armor at all. Which, to be fair, once you've applied all the minus armors and stuff like that, it is close to that degree. Oh wow, Noax is being pushed back here, which is really harsh for him because he needs a bit of a victory because he's already losing a lot of his expansions. So he's really not going to have that much gold to fall back on other than the gold that he's stored up, which is a lot. It's a lot, okay. We can agree to that, but losing all those expansions is also going to cost him a vital thing called wood. And wood is not something that any of these players seems to have massed up all that much this game. Except for, of course, the Great Wall, because he has the benefit of wisps that are basically soaking in all the wood. So that's very nice for him. 4,400 wood. I don't think he's going to be worrying about that anytime soon, guys. Rory is actually choosing... Well, he has no choice, to be fair. He's lost his main to tech up down here, which is probably a smart choice because it's the furthest away, out of trouble, I would say. Out of attention. This is where Night Elf can be really, really underratedly super strong because of the combo of Druid of the Claw and their more powerful units like Chimeras. The combination of Roar and that, so much potential extra damage. He's saying mass tanks help. He knows it's coming, but he's still going to be okay with that, providing he doesn't have the Griffins that are attacking him at the same time. But if the Griffins go alongside the tanks, it's really nasty, because they do only take a few shots. So he's deciding to defend his base by being aggressive and attacking, which is a smart way to play. Oh, that's a lot of bats. Rory is pissed. He's going for it. He doesn't care about the consequences. Noax is like, leave me alone! Quick! I'm under attack! Yep, the Ancients of War repelling the tanks quite nicely there. So good. So good. They're definitely worth the investment, especially in a free-for-all scenario when you can get so much gold stored up. Okay, so now it's the Night Elf that's going to win. Is it the Night Elf that's going to win? Is it the human? Perhaps it's the Orc. The super DPS of the Blade Master might be enough to make a comeback. To be fair, Rory's got a bit of a way to go, but since all the action is happening at the top side of the map, he does have time to get these expansions back up and running and then eventually build up his army. He's not doing bad on gold and he's fairly respectable on wood. Oh, these players though, if they keep going at it, they're going to get so much experience regardless of who wins or loses. So that's one thing to be concerned about if you were the Orc player, Rory. These guys are having so many fights that all these units are getting killed. That's a lot of experience going down. So many hippos on these Griffins. And the Griffins are also drunken haze, so it makes them relatively useless in these fights, at least for the time period, whilst they're being... Oh yeah, that's horrible for Noax. He needs to get out of that situation. Although it's actually... strangely enough, every time I say that, it's always the other player that's getting out. I can understand though why, because all of these hippos are taking so much damage, but it's a smart move. Repair them all and maybe go for it again. The tanks are so good versus the hippos. I think his heroes might be the key here though. The Panda and the Beastmaster with the mass sort of like Quill Boars and sort of Drunken Haze, Breath of Fire combination. And you don't want to come across Rory at any time because of all these bats. The player with the air, they both got heavy air armies. So you certainly don't want to come across Rory and upset him. Because it's not going to go well for you, I'm telling you that for sure. Look at this. Ah! I like that. He sees it coming. And he's like, maybe if I uproot now and just slowly walk away, they won't notice me. And in a weird way, it kind of worked. What the hell was that? He's just scouting though, really, at the moment, Rory. He can kill him. He doesn't have to kill him. He's just scouting. He's assessing the situation. Besides, it does seem like Rory is very fixated on trying to kill Noax over the Great Wall right now. That seems to be his main focus from what we can tell. But he doesn't want to underestimate the Great Wall, because the Great Wall certainly does Oh my god, such an investment into this air army! Have you not seen these bats? He seems to be absolutely dedicated to the Chippo way of life. Chippo or nothing, to be honest, is the way it's going. Blimey. I've been talking too much. I need to eat this soup a bit more. Because it's starting to go a bit lukewarm. And when you've still got food in the soup, it's not so nice when it's lukewarm. I've never had a cold soup before. Isn't that the Spanish meal? Gestapo or something like that? That's not it. Gazpacho, that's the one. I think Gestapo is something different entirely. If you know what I mean. But yeah. Gazpacho. Never had it. Don't want to ever have it. Noix doesn't have a problem killing the Great Wall's tree though. It's humans, innit? We just take over the world. We just... Deforestation. We just destroy the entire planet. We don't care. Okay, so we want to really look at the resources a little bit here so we can kind of understand the players' stances. Which I need to do a little bit more if I wasn't trying to eat so bloody much. Noix, level 6 Alchemist. Pretty damn good item, Sobi Mask. I'm going to point out the stuff that's important. You can see the rest of the stuff. Sobi Mask, Pendant of Energy. He's teleporting to deal with bats, I assume, right now. Is it going to go well for him? Is it too late? No, he's not. Because I knew that was going on over there. I thought it might be bats over there. Okay, he's also got the Mountain King, level 4. So he's got Boost of Speed, Talisman of Evasion. That's the key things there. Paladin, not really too much key there other than Staff of Sanctuary to keep people alive. Boost of Speed, that's always important. Level 4. So he's pretty good on the heroes. Oh, that's so scary, those shims when they're all roared up. Okay, so Great Wall, he's looking pretty good. Beastmaster level 5, he's got sort of like nice defensive items there. Orb of Venom, Anti-Magic Shell, or well, you can call it Anti-Magic Shell. It's really Anti-Magic Potion. It's slightly better than Anti-Magic Shell, which is the Banshee ability. Basically reduces magic damage taken. But in this case, you can't actually take any magic damage. You're immune entirely. So, yeah, it is better in that sense. Panda with some really interesting items. Robe of the Magi and 2 Potions of Mana. So there's going to be a lot of drunken brawl, drunken haze and breath of fire going on. And, of course, the Pit Lord with the Scourge Bone Chimes and the Periapter Vitality. Nothing too special there. But, you know, Howl of Terror... It's not to be too underestimated. It can have its definite uses. And of course we have Rory over here, who's actually looking pretty good, surprisingly so. I think he's starting to make his comeback now that he's got those expansions underway. So do not put Rory out of the game, despite you probably thinking, and I understand if you did, that this is pretty much between Noix and the Great Wall. This is actually far more of a 1 versus 1 versus 1. It's just these two are going at it quite mad. And you just saw a transmute go off there. That was the extra sound it makes. It's pretty cool. Yes, he can definitely abuse the Alchemist versus the Chimeras, which is just another problem with going Mass Chimeras to some degree, but that's obviously the playstyle he's gone for. Will it work? Won't it work? I don't know, but that Pit Lord ain't gonna alive. Fuck me, that went down quickly. That is so powerful. That Chemical Rage Mountain King combo with the Griffin Focus is just insane. And we're going to see the same thing against the Panda in a second. No, he's actually going to use the Scroller Temple, so he's going to survive that. He's okay in that situation. Oh, Shim's going down. Those bots! Get out! Because that's funny. This is a doodad that actually blocks air paths. That's why he tried to fly away, but he doesn't fly up this way. He has to follow the path of these doodads. So those bats took more damage than they would have done if they just straight up were able to fly out. So anyway, I was trying to get onto Rory's heroes before I was really interrupted by all this action going on. You got Rory, who has the level 5 Blade Master, soon to be level 6, which could definitely make a big impact to the game. Certainly Blade Storm is not going to do much versus Chimeras, but versus the human army? Perhaps. That's comical. Cannon Tower versus Tree of Life plus 5 Wisps. It looks like the Tree of Life plus 5 Wisps will win that unless the Cannon Tower switches over to the Wisps, but I don't see him doing that just yet. But then again, that is a drain on the resources with 5 Wisps constantly repairing, and the Cannon Tower isn't exactly going down anytime soon, taking about 17 damage per hit. And again, back to Rory, level 5 Blade Master. Claws of Attack plus 9, that's definitely substantial. You got the Orb, you got the Boots, Circlet, it's very nice. Then you got the level 4 Shadow Hunter, a bit more support. Scourge Bone Chimes, very, very, very important item there for the Orc right there. Boost of Speed, just support in general in terms of items. And the Tauren Chieftain level 3, again, he can whack down his Stomp. and has Potion of Mana to just carry on doing that, but doesn't have much else going for him in that sense. Don't know what else the Orc has other than mass bats, really, in terms of army size. And anyway, we're back to Noix fighting it out, and it looks like it's good at the moment for Great Wall. He's got Noix really trapped here, so Noix has actually finally decided to town portal out, but he's going to take quite a substantial loss from that. That was very nicely controlled there. Really good cyclones there. Just critical. Only a couple of them here and there, but they seem to cyclone the right hero, the right unit, just to get the right impact there. So, Great Wall had a really good, successful combat there. That went very nicely for him, which is really good for him because he might actually get up to Beastmaster level 6, and we... Oh, no! He's doing it! He's made his move! It's happening! Yikes. Oh! It's not too bad for the Great Wall. But he doesn't really want to have to keep rebuilding his shims. He's able to do so. But we saw for so long that the Orc player wasn't really using these bats. Like, he was, but he could have, like, suicided them. But he's... Yeah, these two are definitely together. You can tell that much. He could have easily used those bats there. So he wants to control Great Wall. And if you look at the minimap, he actually kind of is. Those bats are really... I'll tell you what, this is kind of an interesting dynamic, the way this game is played. The Orc player might end up taking this because Noix and the Great Wall have been fighting each other so focusedly. They've forgotten about Rory and the power that bats have when they're not being threatened. If bats are just left to roam around the map willy-nilly and just do whatever they want, they can do loads of damage, absolutely loads, and that's exactly what we're seeing. He just picks off these expansions. There's no gold left there now. That's pretty much gone. So Great Wall is going to be pretty much coming to a close in terms of how much gold he can make. 4,000 is very nice if he can not have it destroyed by bats. So you think he's got 8,000 gold plus 4,000 potentially. So 12,000 left for Great Wall. We've got 12,000 already for Rory. Okay, and he's still got 7,900. 2,000 in the main, 7,000. Wow, it's looking really good for Rory. Whereas Noix, who was very strong early on, is looking a little bit more rough. 9,000 gold with a potential, say, 14,000 gold. Again, some player might be able to get the middle mines. So we do have these mines here, but I'm going to kind of discount the mines in the middle because they're definitely the most likely to be killed consistently without a player being able to really utilize them completely. So I'm going to kind of discount those for the moment. Each player is still in this. They've still got a fighting chance. And I think Rory is going to run out of luck soon. I don't mean that what he's had so far is like super lucky, as in like, oh wow, he's played terribly, he's just got lucky. It's not that at all. He's played pretty well. The case is that the other players were so focused on one another that he's got away with dicking around with the bats. That he can kind of control the economy of the other players, particularly Great Wall. And that's a huge impact because, hey, transmute. We don't actually get to see how much gold he gets from it. But yeah, those take some damage. That bat's gone. So Noix kind of like battled everyone, didn't he, really? He has got very powerful heroes. Level 7 Alchemist, level 5 Mountain King, and level 5 Paladin. That could be the most powerful combo here, triple combo in terms of the long run. Although Blade Master, Shadow Hunter, and Tauren Chieftain have potentially more potential. Potentially, should I say. But he's got a little bit further to go before he gets there. Can he even make it there without getting killed? Because he's getting closed upon pretty quickly. Chemical Rage coming in. Going for a bunch of bats. He'll be able to pick off a couple here with a nice Storm Bolt and focus with the anti-air orbs. As well as just the Alchemist's ability to attack air units full stop. Bats coming in here versus Noix. Oh, there's such a pain when you haven't got towers all set up properly. Ah, there's a lot of bats. That's going to kill all of that if Noix doesn't get there in time. But the Alchemist is actually a pretty good counter to these bats. He's almost like a panda in a weird way because of the acid. And there goes the transmute. That was glorious. Gold thrown up into the air. Very nice to see. Lovely effect. Imagine that in HD. HD gold. It has to happen. This looks like burning gold right now. That's what gold looks like when it's burning. Noix, 10,000 gold has been reached. He actually has got a lot of these towers up though, so maybe I could actually secure this expansion as something and add that to his total pile of potential gold now, because he's got so many towers there. It's going to be much harder to pick on with bats. That's really the best way to deal with bats. It's just a whole ton of towers. Seems like an obvious answer. Bats do well versus towers, but when there's so many of them, you have to spread the bats out to stop them taking damage, because they have an ability called Liquid Fire, which is what you're seeing right now. That's why the building looks like it's on fire. And what Liquid Fire does, if I'm correct, I might be wrong, but it reduces the attack rate of said building, so this is basically for towers, by 90%. So if you have 10 towers that you're fighting versus and you have 10 bats, do you take those 10 bats and attack the towers one at a time? No, because by the time you get to the last tower, your bats will all be dead, because the other towers are able to attack your bats. So what you do is with those 10 bats is you spread them onto each of the towers. And then each of those towers can only attack at 10% of a rate. Now, I will tell you this is the actual honest truth. The bats would still lose that, because you still need more bats than towers. The towers, even at a 10% attack rate, would probably still kill off the bat before the bat kills the tower. I'm pretty adamantly sure about that. So you would need something like 12 to 14 bats for 10 towers. So you have 3 bats basically focused on one tower, and all the other bats spread among the other towers. So you learned something today, see? Don't say I don't teach you nothing. Bats. Plenty to learn. Tree on peon violence. It's all happening in this free-for-all game. And Noix running around an orc base with a healing salve left out in the open, and the alchemist just blatantly ignores it. What is this? Mountain King doesn't even care about a healing salve. He's out. He's fast for a little thing, isn't he? Okay, the Great Wall's suffering from lag, so we might have an issue here. I really hope that one of the players saves the game. That gives me a chance to eat some food before it goes stone cold gazpacho. Yeah, it's pretty cold.
Righto.
It's not completely cold, but it's pretty cold. That's enough of it that I care to have, to be honest. The rest is just a little bit of veg and floating cold water. So I'll probably avoid the rest of that, to be honest with you. Alright. So this game is a little bit deceptive. The great thing is that it's still action-packed and there's still a lot to go on. So I'm really happy with that. The one thing I'm still concerned about is the thing I had an issue with before, was the gold level. I think in future this map might have to have the gold mines. Each gold mine might have to have like 2,500 knocked off the total value that they have, starting with. Except for the players' spawning positions. But all the expansion gold mines, I think so. Just to sort of reduce the chance of players getting too much gold stashed up. Because when they got 10,000 gold or so, they can afford to make enough mistakes. And as you saw in the previous free-for-all games that I casted, most players had a roughly about 1,500 to 2,000 gold for kind of the majority of the games. There was points where they had like 8,000, 6,000 gold, stuff like that, but that pretty much went down to 2,000-ish gold quite quickly after enough skirmishes. And then they had to kind of be a lot more tactical with their decisions, which is what I like to see. I don't mind the gold, but it needs to be used to crush your foes. But unfortunately, it's less likely to be done that way because no one really wants to attack each other too much. But luckily in this game, we're getting it happen all the time. So this is one of the rare occasions, although I have done the free-for-all games in the past where people just have... Again, I go back to that free-for-all. I think it was the final or the last free-for-all or something like that. It was one of those massive 12-player maps or something like that. It was ridiculous. It was absolutely ginormous, and each player had like 20,000 gold minimum. And this was like 2 hours into it. It just went on forever. And no one wanted to kill each other despite having like 20,000 gold. It was so painful. Okay. I haven't seen anyone save it, and I don't think I want to save it just in case. Oh, I can't anyway. Only the players can. Because I wouldn't want to upset the players. So. Terrible lag. Iron's still here. Rory's okay. Noix is okay. Great Wall. 93 MS isn't terrible. It's not great though. I'm not going to lie. It's not very fun to play with, but it's not the worst lag. But he could be worse than 93 MS for all we know. Okay, so let's have a look at the situation. Noix technically only has one expansion, but he's got a powerful army, and those heroes are formidable. No one really wants to go up against those heroes. Every time we see a fight, Noix seems to be coming off the better in terms of the overall result. I think it's also partly because of the Alchemist just sort of being so much of a threat. They don't want to hang around an Alchemist throwing down Transmute every time. They just kind of want to avoid him. It does make it an interesting play, you know? If you get an Alchemist, it's a really smart thing to do in a free-for-all, I think, sometimes. If it doesn't cost you the game completely and you can actually level him up. So getting him first was smart, so you can get him powerful enough. But it's like a deterrent. Free-for-all is all about deterrence, right? It's all about getting towers and stuff like that and saying, look, you could attack my base, but is it worth you spending resources and time trying to kill me when it might end up costing you too much as you get killed by another player? And it's kind of the same way Alchemist works, except he's mobile. He just walks around and no one wants to go against him because he can just transmute you all the time, and you don't want to lose expensive units because you will. I mean, 10,000 gold is a lot, but that will go down quickly enough if the Alchemist just keeps on bloody transmuting it. It's a pretty short cooldown. I think it's a 45-second cooldown, okay, for transmute. That's less than a minute. He can instantly kill whatever unit he wants that belongs to your army. So he's pretty good, really, overall. Few militia here getting caught out by the bats. Noix running desperately to save them. Mostly to catch out the bats, as we're going to see some heavy damage done to bats in a second. There we go. Ugh, that is nasty. We've got the acid bomb doing lots of damage over time. It's like... Oh, wow. You know what? I'd love to know what the statistics are for acid bomb, because you can see it's still going through these bats. You could actually argue that... I don't think it's as powerful as Drunken Haze plus Breath of Fire, but it's like that, except it's one spell. It's one spell. With Panda, you have to cast Drunken Haze and then Breath of Fire to get the burning over time effect. Whereas Acid Bomb is just one spell. And it acts the same way. It's an AoE attack that does damage over time. And it also reduces the armor. But at the moment it's just being pretty much used for damage more than it is for reducing the armor. More towers coming here for Noix's main, which is interesting. Feels like he might be bunkering down for the long haul here. When it comes down to it and every player... Oh, I see. It's to also help mitigate versus these attacks on the east-hand side where the Chimeras can kind of like protect themselves over the terrain a little bit. Pit Lord rolling in. Not sure what to do with himself. Maybe throw down a Breath of Fire. In comes the Storm Bolt and the Chemical Rage combination, but the... Oh, wow, that stuff. Woo. It's just as well. The Chemical Rage Alchemist took a little bit long there to walk over. He was trying to get there, but if he got there any quicker, he might have just been able to do it. He just needed one more hit. That was a very nice staff there. So that basically does help. Pit Lord soaks up all the juice from the Moonwells and goes about his way again. Just kind of like a... He's a drain on society. Abusing the benefits, that Pit Lord, isn't he? Oh, here we go. Some smart play here from Great Wall. Sending in his Siege. Roared up Siege. Extra damage. Panda can come in here. Level 5 Panda, so this is level 3 Breath of Fire. Tearing through those towers. That's why the towers are so spread out, by the way. It makes it harder for the Pandas and, you know, AoE heroes to kind of like bring them all down in one go. Oh, that's a lot of bats. Rory's back with his bats. 12,000 gold. He's about to catch all of these towers going up. This is going to be huge for him right now. And Nox is obviously very distracted, so he can't help defend this. The towers have managed to go up, but if he just spreads the bats a little bit, he'll be okay. But to be fair, he can just put the heroes on that and let the towers go for that. Nox is way too distracted. He's going to have to leave his main by the looks of it just to secure this expansion. So he's coming over here to try to defend versus it, but he's got a lot of griffins, which ain't going to be very good versus bats. So it's going to come down to his heroes alone. He's got some towers that can help versus the casters. Maybe he does the focus fire. Wow, the hex on the alchemist is a huge deal here. It really reduces the amount of effectiveness. But the one thing I noticed there is that chemical rage seems to be paused whilst it's hexed. So hex is a nice counter to the alchemist, but it doesn't completely counter the effect of chemical rage. Those bats going to town, bringing down a bunch of those griffins, but it still comes to that case where Nox manages to scare off his opponent. You know, he still seems to win those fights. But Stampede is happening. This is how you use Stampede, by the way, boys and girls. You use it away from you. A lot of players would think that you use it towards the direction. No, you use it away from you because the Stampede, the Kodos, are going to spawn here. They're going to spawn behind the hero. That's how it works. They spawn behind the hero. So they're going to hit everything behind, like, instantaneously, rather than travelling a long way. Okay, so that's a nice Stampede use. Didn't get too lucky with their positioning, though, because they didn't actually really manage to kill much. But it's still nice. Managed to get it in there. Why not? We don't actually get to see Stampede very much these days, do we? Let's face it. Rory is actually starting to look more and more scary as that Blade Master is level 6, Shadow Hunter level 5, and Tauren Chieftain level 4.5. The Orc army, especially with the Bloodlust, don't forget the Bloodlust, is pretty formidable. It's really hard to fight versus that. A Chemical Raged Alchemist is pretty much your thing to compete with versus a Blade Master on Bloodlust. I think the Blade Master should win that, but even then I'm not sure. Okay, who's going to be next? Lovely damage on the Mountain King, making him far less of a threat, immediately bringing him down to half his health. Hex going off. Will the Mountain King be able to walk away from this? There's going to be a War Stomp. Oh, down! Oh, that is harsh. Blade Master gets taken down in the process of trying to focus down that. Oh no. So the damage from this alchemist is insane. The Blade Master gets picked off. The Mountain King is saved at the last second. Yeah. I didn't quite catch exactly what happened to the Blade Master, but you would have seen it on the screen. So, yikes. Rory. Again, again, this is a fight that's going like Nox. He just wins all these fights. But at the same time, he's kind of slowly-ish losing, except for his determination to keep hold of these expansions and doing a great job of that. If he wasn't so determined to do so, he'd probably be out of the game if he was left with this main. But he's fearsome. These players are finding it really difficult. Spell breaks are now being added. That's probably because of the Bloodlust. Imagine a Bloodlust on a level 8 Alchemist with level 3 Chemical Rage. That's going to be nasty. Now, Great Wall, he's got a lot of gold and he's continuing this siege. It looks like Nox might. I mean, he can last up quite a long time, to be honest with you. Oh, he's going for it. He's throwing in the acid bomb. The alchemist is stuck at the back, trying to get in a good position. He's coming all the way around. He doesn't know what to do with himself. Griffin's getting punished by the drunken haze and combination, and the hippo's going in. The tanks are minimal, but they're still there, being somewhat of a minimum threat. The towers are much more of a threat as the Night Elf army starts to proceed further into the base. The Griffin's hanging in at the end there. The Panda going into his ultimate just at the last second. Beautiful timing there for Great Wall. He does need to keep one of these alive, though, because if all three of them die, then his Panda dies. So he needs to be careful of that, and typically it's the Wind Waker one, but he went down quickly. It looks like... Oh, okay, Town Portal there. I think there's a little bit of Stampede action going on there. I'm pretty sure I saw the animation for Stampede, but not much past that point. Didn't manage to get much else out of it. Lovely little battle there. Kind of both players doing okay in that situation. Neither player really lost that. Looks like it's Rory's turn. Witch Doctor not doing so well, but he does manage to get the Sentry Ward down if he can kill the other towers. Ah, this is a nasty position to be in. Yep, get out of that right now. That Alchemist is going to town. He is not shy about it. Okay. Rory, 12,000 gold. Noix, 6,000 gold, but kind of has like the two most important expansions, which are the ones in the middle, with a ton of towers. And the Great Wall, 11,000 gold. I'd still say Rory's got the best position here, purely because he's far away from the other players. And he's got the most gold potentially to be had. It's just the question is whether he can keep that Blade Master alive. You know, his heroes alive from like the Chemical Rage Stormbolt combo, those kind of nasty things. If he doesn't have bad luck with that, and he just sort of stays alive long enough in these battles, he'll be able to out DPS his opponents. However, the Spellbreakers will be very useful in reducing the amount of DPS he can put out, because he won't have the Bloodlust benefit, because it will all go towards a human army, because it will be stolen. I do highly suggest multiple invulnerability potions whenever you can pick them up, though, for that Blade Master, because he's not going to do anywhere near as much damage if he is stunned the entire time or brought down to no health, so he has to keep running away. I wonder if this game will end up coming down to the wire. Even though all the players have got such a stupid amount of gold now, it's hard to see Transmute having such a large impact, but maybe when it gets down to the point where players have no gold, yeah, Transmute's definitely going to be a large enough impact. But will we get to that point? Stormbolt just out of reach. If he was like here... Oh, now we go. Oh, the Hex goes off. You saw the Mountain King with his animation there, just about to cast a Stormbolt. The Hex is quicker, though. Transmute. Nice try with the War Stomp. Not quite going to have any impact on the Spellbreakers. He's trying to do a loop-the-loop. Oh, Stormbolt bringing him down, but he's... he might be able to walk away from this one if the Spellbreakers don't get enough of a successful block. This is very nice blocking here from Noix. Very nice indeed. There goes the next. Oh, that is a dead Tauren Chieftain. See you later, fella. I'm surprised he didn't use the Scroll of Speed there. But every time Noix... It's like these players know exactly what's going on, what the other one is doing. Because every time Noix kind of like defends himself, he loses something. Here he gets attacked from another angle, and that's kind of what's happened. The Great Wall feels like a very strategic player. Like, he's quite patient. He's going for it. And yeah, this is harsh for Noix. He's pretty much spent the last 20-25 minutes at least just defending himself from consistent attacks. Because both players have it adamantly in their mind that he is the strongest player. He may well be, but he's not by that much. He's actually quite an even. Each of the players is very strong in my opinion. That combination versus the Griffins makes them look so vulnerable. It's so difficult to fight versus this. This Night Elf army is pretty scary indeed. The Shims can always turn around, and there we go. We have got the, what is it, the anti-magic shell potion being used, so the Stampede can have its full effect at least for 15 seconds. And even the Pit Lord's got some anti-magic shell going down there, so he can be rolling around here, not getting insta-gibbed by the human player. But that will run out. But the question is, has the human player got enough health to actually get in there? Oh, the Shim focus fire versus the Mountain King. But the Mountain King's back into shape here after Holy Light there. But the Alchemist is soon gone. Oh, the Scroll of Town Portal being used. Night Elf player here. Great Wall really battering down Noix's chances. The Town Portal is such an awkward position there. Oh, the Brevify, the Holy Light going off. The Alchemist staying alive just to walk away. The Invulnerability Potion keeping him alive. Oh, the Mountain King's about to go down just for the special out. Oh no, the Paladin. Can he go into Divine Shield as he got it? He just managed to get away. Oh, goodness me. That's crazy. That was madness. What control under the circumstances. Great Wall just not letting up here. He has to, though, eventually. Oh, my God. That was crazy. That was absolute madness. Just everything just hanging on by a thread. So nicely done by Noix there, under the circumstances. That Town Portal, he was like, fuck, 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 fuck. He just managed to keep it. Just everything. Just if he lost even just a single hero there, or you know, he could have been out of the game. That'd be his main pretty much controlled at that point. And his ult's certainly not going to get anything back. So that was so critical that he actually stayed alive there. So critical. What's Rory been up to these days? Level 6 Blade Master. Didn't take my advice and get the invulnerability potion, though. He's got any Shadow Hunter, but that's about it. Which is arguably the most important hero to have it on. simply because it's your support hero. And if your support hero goes down too early, then that's like 2 or 3 extra healing waves that you've missed out on, which is a really big deal. Not seeing many Blade Storms, and he could use it in a second if the positioning is right. Noix once again being forced to defend himself. Ah! The Alchemist is looking for a transmute, and he's going to get it. Oh, no he's not! The Hex denies. Denied. Hex being one of the most important and powerful spells in the game by a long shot. Easily one of the best. 70 mana for such a strong control. It's just ridiculous, really. I imagine it would be a spell that probably would get nerfed, but I don't think you can nerf it too much because it messes with the Orc synergy, so it would have to be something like change it to 75 mana or 80 mana, something small like that, which would have a minor impact, but just maybe enough of an impact that it's not too good. I don't know, I think the duration of it can be too scary, more scary than the mana cost, really. That's a lot of shims built up. 97 food. Does Great Wall have any expansions? He's kind of all mined out right now. So now we're getting to the stage where the players are using up those golds. They had like 11,000 gold a moment ago, and now 6,700. Drops quite quickly at this stage when you have to rebuild an entire 100 food army. Noix looking somewhat better, although not really because he hasn't got the expansion with the most gold. Because he's got 7,000 gold, but he's only got 49 food army. So he'd lose like 3,000 gold just to build it up to 100 food. Rory, though, again, like I say, I think Rory could be the one that takes this simply because he's kind of sitting in the background, getting away with a bit of murder, really. Playing it right. He's playing it right this whole game. He may not be appreciated very much for it, but it definitely looks like he's playing it right. He's got 13,000 gold. And he still has expansions nearby. Arguably, there's only 1,000 gold in that, and 800 gold in that. But he... Again, unless he does something stupid and just loses a hero or two, I don't see him coming out of this game very easily. I think it will take a lot to bring him out of this game. Noix hates towers. He's decided to turn against them. Maybe he's given up. I wonder what he's doing. He's probably very frustrated, and I can kind of understand, to be honest. It's not very fun to fight versus 2 players for freaking 30 plus minutes at least. It would stress you out, but I don't know what his reason is for killing these towers, other than the fact that they will give experience if killed. Maybe he's just trying to make himself look weaker. So then Great Wall will be more inclined to team up with him against the Orc player. Oh, okay. Okay, I'm stupid. The gold mine ran out. So I wasn't entirely wrong. He was very smart, actually. Those towers, they give experience, so I was correct about that. So that's why he was killing it. Is so that this base is useless now. There's nothing else here. There's no gold mine. There's no real reason to keep it alive. You've got a strong enough main. So he killed the towers just so people couldn't get any experience out of those towers, even though it'd only be a small amount. That's what he was doing. I thought he was killing them at first out of frustration. That's what I thought. I thought he was just frustrated, just like, taking out on these bloody towers.
Righto.
I'm not even sure if this is the finals now, because it's So and DV. I don't know. I'm pretty sure this is. It is the final, because it was called the final. That made me think for a second there, because So and DV are like very, very powerful free-for-all players. So you've seen before. He's even casted one of the free-for-all games alongside me. And, yeah. It made me think for a second, oh, are they playing their own game and then coming into the next fight? No. They're actually commentating. Or they're not commentating. They're actually in this game, because I remember seeing them in one of the pings earlier. So see? He's there. Lagging it up. So we're safe. There's another transmute. We might get to see this Alchemist hit level 10. That could be a thing. That could happen. Paladin chasing in hard. Oh, this Tauren Chieftain just getting... Hang on a second, they're going on to the Shadowhunter, which is probably a smart choice, except for the item choice. You've got the passion of invulnerability unless he gets a solid Stormbolt. You've got to use it right. You've got to time it right. He's trying to slow down with the Tauren Chieftain. Hey, now it's the Tauren Chieftain's turn to get absolutely battered. Almost got the surround, not quite. And the War Stomp just keeping alive. Use that speed scroll, for goodness sake. Please use the speed scroll. Use it. Use it now. The Stormbolt's coming. These players move so fast that their spells are trying hard to catch up. That Mountain King is so damn fast with a boost of speed. Ah, Rory teleporting out because he's had enough. He bought a fair bit of time there. That would have been really crucial time if Great was still attacking him. Doing his sort of siege thing with the Chimeras. Waiting for a good ping. Waiting until I'm not lagging quite so much. That's basically what he's saying. When I stop lagging so much, yeah, then I'll attack him. Alright. No, it's going to town on Rory's main base now. Although we can say this is actually his expansion because this actually looks much more like Rory's main base, to be fair. So hopefully you guys are enjoying this stream. If you are, then make sure to check out my YouTube channel. www.youtube.com/WTiiWarcraft, WTiiWarcraft. If you just simply scroll down underneath the video, you'll see all the appropriate links, very professionally set out for you, nice and easy. And I host a Warcraft 3 channel that has almost 1,000 videos on it. 1,000 Warcraft 3 videos where I do 4 versus 4 random teams, 1 versus 1, 2 versus 2 in terms of random team, as well as with sexy time and particular players, tower islands, burrow rushes, ancient rushes. I do all sorts basically, so even custom campaigns and stuff like that. So if you're interested in anything Warcraft 3 related, you're probably going to find it over at WTiiWarcraft on YouTube. And if you really want to see the old school Warcraft 3 content that I used to make, as well as new stuff, which is not necessarily so Warcraft related, but the old school Warcraft stuff still exists on my main channel. But typically I do other new releases and commentaries on the movie and stuff like the Warcraft movie, like more up-to-date kind of stuff. YouTube.com/witty1, WTII1. And that's where you'll catch me, basically. Oh god, I don't even know how many videos I've got on that channel. I don't even know. It's got to be like 3,000 or so. It's a ridiculous amount of videos on that channel. And at least 1,000 of them are Warcraft 3 videos. So I think I've got like 2,000 Warcraft 3 videos in total. At least. Over 2 channels. It's ridiculous. But anyway, here we go. Oh, there's going to be no time for that invulnerability. Oh, down goes the Shadowhunter. This is what I'm talking about. The only thing that's really going to cost Rory right now is losing his heroes. He just can't afford to lose those heroes. Every engagement, Nox tears them apart. This Alchemist is a beast. An absolute beast. Mountain King plus Alchemist. It's not like there's a third hero doing super damage. It's not like he's got 3 heroes here to do the amount of damage he's doing. It's 2 heroes. The Paladins barely puts out any damage at all. Barely. So it's 2 heroes alone that are just doing that much damage. So powerful. I mean, Rory's got enough gold to bring back that Shadowhunter, but what I'm getting at here is eventually we're going to get to the stage where both players are at about 1,000 to 2,000 gold. And I'm talking about only 2 players left. There's no longer 3 players left, so there's no longer that kind of complication. And if you take out one of those players' heroes, you might just be able to finish the game right there, despite them having towers and whatnot left. If you reduce that hero down, that might be enough to just take it. It's crazy. What happened to that Tree of Life that was battering on versus this War Mill and the Peon earlier? Kind of lost track of that. Don't know where the hell it went. Ah. I wonder if that's the same one. Or whether that's a different one that was from over here. Not a bad thing to have a Tree of Life hidden. It does look like Great Wall and Nox are now starting to team up a little bit versus Rory. As they might actually slowly realise that Oh, a Tauren coming out versus Transmute potentially. Transmute actually went off just beforehand, so he can't use it for like another 35 seconds. But that Tauren, there's another Tauren there to be had. Oh no, Rory still trying to recover while his hero comes back. The hero's out now, but is he in the worst position possible? No, he's actually okay here. Hex going off there, trying to keep that Alchemist under control. Warstomp going down in a second. Purge bringing him down a little bit. Oh, in comes more of a gank from Great Wall. Nox is under attack again. Oh no, maybe not. He's okay. Yeah, I thought for a second there the Great Wall was going for Nox. Does look like they are teaming up against Rory. So they're realizing that Rory is so powerful. And that's some cheeky spell steal going on there. Benefiting from some of the benefits of the Night Elf army. He's running right into the back here. Potions of mana all over the shop. Orc just trying to dive into the back. That is a bit of a suicide canyon to go into, so I wouldn't suggest it. The Alchemist, he does need to get out of this situation. He is so powerful, but bear in mind he can go down pretty quickly if caught out. And you can see he's being very cautious. And he can be, because meanwhile Great Wall is just tearing to pieces the other buildings. Poor Rory is actually feeling the wrath of Nox and what it's like to be sieged by two players. Needless to say, it's a little bit more difficult when the Orc is doing it and doing the defending, because the human has all these towers and defense stuff. Oh, the Tauren Chieftain's down! Once again. Although he's level 4 this time when he went down. Every other time he's been like level 3, so at least he managed to make it to level 4 this time before going down. Oh, God. What can Rory do? He's still got another base that he can produce with, but this is a slaughter right now. He's finding it way more difficult to defend himself versus two players. He was doing fine when he was kind of on his own, able to pick on people. Oh, the Alchemist transmute once again. It's 255 mana. This is really good. I'll tell you what, that Sobi mask, I don't know whether Nox kind of knows this map and what creeps drop what, or have a percentage chance to drop a Sobi mask, but whether that was tactical or pure luck, that's one of the best things that could have ever happened to him this game, is getting a Sobi mask on an Alchemist. Because he hasn't got the Archmage for Brilliance Aura, so his mana would be coming in very slowly otherwise. But with the Sobi mask, as long as he's, you know, pretty smart with his mana, and there's not much else to spend it on, to be honest, with an Alchemist. You don't typically use it on healing spray. Acid Bomb is fairly cheap, and then transmute every 45 seconds. Okay. Meanwhile, we can see at the top here, Great Wall's been securing this expansion up here, so he's getting a little bit of income here for his trouble of not killing Nox anymore. And he's got a huge army at the base. 100... Oh no, yeah, there's 100 food, but he has to kind of utilize this expansion. He's not like, you know, only got 2 wisps in it or anything, because as far as he knows, that he might not get to keep that expansion. It's only a matter of time. Looks like Rory might be a... Oh wow, I didn't even notice this. Wow, that really blended into the environment. Very nice. That could be a good game changer, but I'm not sure if it's going to be enough, but it's interesting to see nonetheless. Hidden army. Very hidden. Okay, so what Rory's going to kind of do here is just have a couple of buildings that are so far out of the way. Oh my god, more hidden army. Buildings just left all over the place that it becomes a bit of a hassle to kill each and every single one of them, and eventually it'll come down to Great Wall versus Nox again, and then he can kind of run amok with his heroes and air again. It makes sense to have the Wind Riders, because when you've got pretty much no ground buildings to fall back to, air is just so mobile. So much easier to roam the map with air.
A player's force is under attack.
He's still got a lot of gold, Rory. So he's almost making a tactical decision, because he's saying, look, I'm getting 2 versus 1. I can either take 2 choices here. I can massively build up a base, tower it up, use all my resources on units just to keep defending myself, or I can kind of feign death a little bit and let the players kill me, but at the same time have a hidden army to fall back on for the long run. And that's the gamble he's taking. It's a much harder gamble to take, but it might be the best one in the long run if the 2 players give up on him. But that's what he's banking on. is the two players giving up their 2 versus 1 when they sort of say, okay, he looks pretty dead to me for the most part. He's utilising his Blade Storm right now. Something wrong with this orc. It's funny to say. Is that because they're just letting him, just destroying all of his stuff and he doesn't seem to be caring about it? Oh no. Nox coming in there. If the Mountain King gets out, he's blocking with his polymorphed Mountain King. Oh my god, the Shadow Hunter, so much damage taken. Oh no, it's so much damage. I am so in envy of this Alchemist. Slagging off this Alchemist so much before in the past I have been. And there's the Resurrection keeping the Peasant alive. The vital clutch play there. Oh man. That Alchemist is such a game changer, man. Alchemist first is the new meta for Warcraft 3, free for all. That's insane. 4,000 gold is left for Nox. Rory has 4,600. They feel like they know he has an army, although they do actually see it. Yeah, to be fair. The Wyverns have been caught. Fairy Fire. Oh, they're stuck apparently. Are they really stuck? Can they not get past these doodads? How did that even happen? I actually believe that. It looks like he's trying to move them out. I don't think he's deliberately dicking around there. Look, the doodads do block. But how did he manage to get them past the doodads in the first place? That's an interesting bug. It was always interesting, these doodads that block air units. I think they should probably not be used.
Righto.
Or at least if they are used, they need to make sure that no units can actually get past them because he's just lost a bunch of units for free. That's really harsh. That secret army is dwindling a little bit. It's not quite as oh god. No Archmage for level 6 mass teleport, but there's still steam tanks nonetheless. Hello there, how you doing? Just walking by. Don't mind me. Doo-doo-doo. Yeah, he just noticed him now. Nox is too busy looking at other things there, clearly. Brilliant. Okay. Blade Master going to
A player's forces are under attack.
Rory, his buildings are starting to go down. Like, he's still got a couple here and there, but I'm not sure this strategy is paying off. I understood what he did, and I explained it earlier, the whole sort of feigning death, but it's one hell of a gamble, and it might pay off in the end, but I don't think so. It's just a way to stay in the game. Oh, there they are. They're hidden over here. Hidden army. Still quite a few of them killed off those Wyverns. He was at like 87 food before. Now he's down to 64 food. Well, maybe not 87 food. It was like 70 something. But yeah, he's lost quite a few. There's the thing we haven't seen all that much this game, the fucking Pit Lord. He needs a boost of speed, that Pit Lord does. Really needs a boost of speed. Feels so damn slow if he hasn't got it.
A player's forces are under attack.
Spellbreakers are an interesting unit for free-for-all circumstances because they're not really easy to kill, even for like high-level heroes. I'm curious as to whether Transmute can be used against them. I think it might be able to. Because they are spell immune, but I don't think they're spell immune versus ultimates. The same goes for Dryads as well.
The town is under siege.
Paladin whacking it to the Great Wall Tree of Life. We're starting to go down in gold now. One bear taken down. The Blade Master Orb is actually very good. It's very questionable as to what's better, the Orb of Corruption or Orb of Lightning. It's very circumstantial. They're basically both the best possible orbs you can get in different ways. because the orb of lightning has a chance to purge, and when you purge a unit, if it's a summoned unit it takes additional damage, but even if it's not, what happens is Night Elf and humans, they depend on their staffs, okay? That's the Staff of Sanctuary or the Staff of Preservation, and that can teleport back your unit to your main base if it's under attack. But if your unit has been purged by the Orb of Lightning, you can't use the staff on that unit. So it's a really good way to counter Night Elf trying to protect their units. Oh man, Rory's being revealed. His Great Hall is down, as we saw earlier. 2 minutes is up, and now we can see Noix moving in one direction, and it seems to be a very important direction. This peon's getting ready to build something. He can easily build a Great Hall if he needs to, but he does need to be careful. Just all these things scattered around. Rory might actually just be straight up admitting defeat. I mean, free-for-all players, they can stay in it to the very end if they wish to, but yeah, it's not easy in this situation. It's only if it comes down to the wire and no units are left, basically. Hey! Transmute for you. Wish I saw the gold count of Noix there for a second. Then I could have worked that out. Could have done some math live. That always goes well. Dragon Hawks are now coming out. Mass Dragon Hawks and Steam Tank could be the ultimate counter versus whatever Great has, and it's a smart counter. Drunken Haze and Breath of Fire is going to be pretty nasty, but it's not enough to one-shot all of the Dragon Hawks, not on the first go. Maybe by the second sort of like Breath of Fire, around that time, it could probably be enough to take care. So Scrolls of Healing would be a very, very useful item for, you know, the end game fight with the siege engines, I would say. Blade Master level 7 on 94 health versus Raging Quill Beast. Blade Master runs away. Yeah, you better run, says the Raging Quill Beast, and goes on his way. Druid of the Talon. This is a nice scouting here, by the way, from Great. He's using these Druids of the Talon just to sort of like look around the map constantly, and Noix is doing the same. He's got his Gyrocopter here, just looking for basically secret units, secret things, and it's a good way to sort of judge what's left of your opponent, as well as to potentially pick off any free units that might not necessarily be well defended. Does anyone really know about these siege engines? I'm not sure if anyone's really scouted Noix's main base for a while. Roy's going to have to heal up the really hard way. No healing cells. No other heroes left. It's going to take a long time before that Blade Master can get his health back, although he has got the Scourge Bone Chimes. So maybe he should have carried on attacking that Quill Beast and he could have got some of his health back potentially. Mercury! Rory, you're down! The player that I pegged to potentially be the dark horse and take this game has gone out. He had a really fun time, to be honest, for a long time with those bats and just kind of letting the other players duke it out whilst he got up to all sorts of mischief. But they soon cottoned on to it. I did wonder, it was only going to be a matter of time before the other two players were like, hang on a second. This Orc's kind of getting away with murder whilst we're fighting. And then they go 2 versus 1. That's it. That is it. So now we finally get down to it. The two players that have been duking it out non-stop pretty much this whole game are finally going to be left to battle it out one more time. Siege engines and griffins. Oh, he didn't go so heavy on the Dragonhawk Riders. He decided to go more on the griffin route. Spellbreakers, griffins, siege engines with level 10 Alchemist, level 7 Mountain King, and level 7 Paladin. Versus level 8 Beastmaster, level 7 Panda, level 5 Pit Lord. Forever stuck at level 5, but no longer since this new patch. He should be able to fix that if he plays his cards right, unless he gets killed instantly by the Chemical Rage and the Stormbot. No, there we go, Anti-Magic Shell. And I always call it that. Nice focus here from the Shims, pushing back that Chemical Rage, but there will be a Holy Light in a second to keep him in the game. Noix doesn't have his largest army with him, and to be fair, he's not trying to here. I think Noix is in the perfect position to win this game, and it's really up to Great Wall to finish the game. because Noix has Transmute. How many units has he killed with Transmute? Seriously. How much has he managed to kill with Transmute? So much. Oh my god. He still managed to get out of that because of Chemical Rage being so fast. Didn't even need to use 350 gold on that town portal. In comes the tanks. Okay, he's going to commit to this battle. Although, to be fair, he could just keep slowly transmuting over time. So, like I say, it's up to Great Wall to really finish this, which is Great Wall. It's what he's doing. He's pushing towards it. If he can have a good success versus these tanks, he might be okay. But the Shims are actually pushing back here. The Griffins are coming in versus the Shims. But we've got Fairy Fire going to be applied all over this. 2 giant bears going to town on the Mountain King. Alchemist being cycloned up into the air. How long is he going to stay up into the air? There is no Dispel. Spellbreakers do actually have a way to sort of get rid of it, but I don't think they can get rid of the Cyclone. The tanks are going to town, but they are being battered quite heavily here versus... Oh my god, we've got a Mountain Giant in here. What's going on there? What's that doing there? Oh well, he's joined in the party. Shims are still looking pretty healthy overall, especially since the tanks are very, very bad right now. Noix in a bit of a pickle right now. He needs to keep utilising this. Has that Mountain Giant got the upgrades that stop it from being transmuted? I'm not sure. Because I think maybe the Mountain Giant is the only unit that can actually get the spell resistant upgrade that actually stops him from being transmuted. Because that's 425 gold and about 100 wood, I think, for a Mountain Giant. Oh boy. Does look like Noix loses when they go toe to toe. Because all of his steam tanks, almost all of them, are dead. Now, steam tanks are pretty cheap, but they're not easy to... Well, they are easy to mass, but they do still cost a lot of gold. They're not biological units that can heal over time. So, yeah, it just comes down to Noix being able to get so much efficiency out of that transmute. And whether the Great Wall can stop him from doing so. Because you can see, that's all he has to do. He needs to keep doing it, transmute. Quick, how much gold? 200,325. Huh, he didn't get that much gold. He got 125 gold from that. Not even that. 105 gold. Ah! Right, okay. There's a reason for that. Now, the interesting thing about Warcraft 3 is it has the tax system, which some people might say, oh, that sucks. But it's really not. It's not a sucky thing at all. It actually gives the game a lot of depth. And because he's at the high upkeep, 85 food out of 100, so he's over 80 food, he gets less income, okay? And that counts towards even transmute. So if he didn't have... If he was at 50 food or lower, he should have got like 330 gold there. But because of the income... Oh my god, he still had transmute on cooldown there. Yeah, because of the income and the fact that he's at 91 food, he's only getting 105 gold or so out of this. This is really successful though. 2 shims down in very short space. Really good space to damage these shims. He's not being touched at all from this position right now. It does look like, you know, the Great Wall's trying to go for these towers. Maybe trying to push him into an awkward position, but this is still good for the moment for Noix. He's done alright under the circumstances. He just needs to be careful with his Alchemist, not taking too much damage. Paladin needs to be on the ball. Holy Light as much as possible. Keep the Alchemist in there. Oh my god! What the hell is that? It's a Doom Guard! Whoa! Level 6 Pit Lord is here! And the Doom Guard is down already. Okay, well that was exciting for a moment. And now we might see a transmute go off any second, because it's probably ready in a second. The tanks are somewhat battered, but they're still going to town. The shims are already here, but we've got Dragonhawk Riders mitigating some of the shims damage. It's pretty nice actually. Are we going to see no, we're not going to see Stampede, almost, but 50 more mana for the Beastmaster might allow that to happen. Alchemist being thrown up into the air, but I don't think there's that much mana left. Oh, there is actually. 2 Druids at the town have tons of mana. They're not even auto-casting their Fairy Fire. There's not much to auto-cast Fairy Fire on, to be fair. This fight is still going down. The shims are going to probably slowly lose out to these tanks, although the Pit Lord might have his way with the tanks before the shims go down. Beastmaster almost down. Down he goes! The combination of the Stormbolt and the Chemical Rage whilst all of that was going down was just too much. Noix! He might well take this! The Dryad at the back! Ah! Down she goes! Noix! My boy! He's fighting against a really strong player. The Great Wall was a dominant force in the previous game. Very smart player. But he just... Oh, that Alchemist! That Alchemist is so good. So good. Absolutely crazy. Well, let's look at the gold now, shall we? 546 gold for Great Wall. But he's going to be at 94 food. So he's pretty much capped, but left with 500 gold. Nox, 500 gold. 63 food. He'll be up to, well, he's actually capped to 66 food, but he's got a couple more griffins coming out, so potentially he could be up to like 70-ish food. But that hero combination will be the winner in the long run, because Transmute, you can't win versus it in a stalemate situation. You have to destroy your opponent or kill the Alchemist. It's just gonna tear you to pieces over time, and here we go again. On a dry this time, playing a bit more safe this time, not going for the shim at the back.
A player's forces are under attack.
There are some epic moments in this game. It's been really fun game to cast. Love it. Please go Alchemist first, more in the future. Oh, we have the Doom. Oh, hello. This is an interesting... Well, it's not going to quite counter Doom, but it's going to send a Doom Guard to his base. Not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but here we go. Out he comes. What terror is he going to get up to? The ultimate weapon, the Doom Guard. Terrifying though he may be. Can you actually out-transmute him? Oh man, please transmute him. I guess you can't because he would have done. Oh, I'm fascinated now whether you could do that, because if you could transmute the Pit Lord's ultimate, that's such a counter to the Pit Lord, as if he wasn't kind of useless enough. It's just such a harsh knockdown. Yep. Like I was saying, Great Wall knows that he kind of... I like the invisibility touch here. It's a bit late, but I like it. Oh god, here we go. 64. A bear goes down. Great nose. He has to make a move, and this is it. The Ancients are on their way to the human base. It's not comfortable to fight versus this, but fortunately there's... I mean, I say there's not that many towers. There's still a lot of towers, but it's not that many compared to how many there could have been left. Oh, Medicine Man. Last option of choice here for the healing wave. This is it! Cyclone on the Alchemist. I don't know if he's going to be able to pick him off or get the right position, but he needs to just tear this to pieces as best as possible. Pit Lord raining of fire, trying to take down the towers so that the long fight won't tear him down too much. Chimera's doing massive focus fire damage there, but as long as the Holy Lights keep on coming in, the Alchemist will be relatively safe. He'll probably be able to chuck down another Transmute, but he's got to be a little bit careful because he's getting a bit low on mana, so he can't keep doing it. There we go. Acid Bomb thrown on. Going to really try to reduce the health of those Chimeras. It's going to take a while, especially with those health of those Chimeras, because they've got loads. They've got 1,000 health, so it's going to take a while to get through those. Ancients of War going to be able to mitigate a bit of damage here, block the position in. It's going to be quite nice use of those, but they're only going to last for so long, and this is it. Great needs to utilize this. He needs to make this work, otherwise this is it. Nox will be able to take this into the long run. Oh, there goes another Acid Bomb. Those Chimeras keep dancing back and forth, and they keep taking damage over time. Watch their health drop. It may only be like 10 or so at a time, but it's still going down. Still going down. Okay, there we go. Another Acid Bomb just chucked once again. Once again. Griffin's focusing. Here we are. Oh, Breath of Fire going down. Doomguard is back into the action. Alchemist's taking a lot of focus fire, but I think he's still okay. Paladin's still got a lot of mana. Throwing down the heals. He's got Divine Shield going along plenty. Mountain King, plenty of mana. Does look like the Chimeras are in an awkward position now, being picked off by the anti-air right here. Doomguard trying to fight off versus a Griffin. Chimera's trying to pull back. Great Wall still got a few units left. Pit Lord running out. Stormbolt going off. Is there a Chemical Rage to deal with this pesky Pit Lord? Oh, the Holy Light as well, because you've got to bear in mind he's a demon, so he takes damage from Holy Light. And Great has been sent back into the depths of the pits from whence he came. Now he has a bunch of moon juice that he can benefit from here. And he lost a fair bit, but he's still got a decent chunk of army left. So it's not completely over for him. And if you look at Nox, he's down to 32 food. Although, utilizing Reincarnation, I did forget about that, has put him up to 43 food. So Great Wall is still in this with a chance if he can utilise those Moonwells and the Healing Ward, get himself back into shape, and then once again siege away. He doesn't have the towers, the Ancients of War, but it makes me think now that he should... I think at this stage of the game you might just want to uproot almost everything you've got and just send it to the human base. Because, like I say, he's just going to keep coming with that Alchemist. You can't stop him. Here we go. 43 food, 672 gold. What does it go on? 936! Okay, so that's a kind of odd number. So I'm not sure if he got exactly 100%, maybe 75% of the gold cost there. What was it, like 720, and then it went to 936, so it's like 236. Or did I look at it wrong? But either way, it came out with an odd number. So I guess it isn't 100% of the cost that you get, but it's still enough if it's 75%. What a tense game. One farm hidden over here, just in case things go really wrong. Level 8 Paladin, level 8 Mountain King. The mana is still fairly high for most of these heroes to utilise their spells. The Night Elf, Great Wall, it's full up on mana. I'm not seeing much Quill Beast spam, although that might be why, because it gets picked off pretty quickly. But yeah, he could definitely be utilising his summons a little bit more, I think, throughout this game. Not seeing much harass from them. The Alchemist is actually running out of things to transmute, although the Paladin took a huge boost of damage, but the Panda's now taking a nice... Oh, there we go, yeah, all the summons are coming out. They're going to help here. We see the Howl of Terror, that's minus 35 damage on the Alchemist, that's a lot. The Alchemist actually taking a fair pump of damage, but 300 mana on the... although, the best thing Great Wall can do here is mitigate the damage a little bit, you know, spread it out amongst the heroes, so that way the Holy Light isn't too efficient. But the Mountain King on Avatar is going to be very hard to focus down, but he's still trying. It's actually going pretty well for Great Wall, except for that last burst of damage there. And now, Staff of Preservation keeping him alive. And he does manage to fight off Noak, so they can have relatively even fights for the most part. So this is actually interesting now. Now that Transmute isn't going to be such a big game changer without it being so useful or being able to be used, will Noak actually be able to win these fights versus a whole bunch of summons? And the kind of counter that is Pit Lord essentially reducing the amount of damage done with Howl of Terror. And the Panda just being a fantastic hero overall for damaging. Like, he's just a good hero overall. Beastmaster does his job as well. Not fantastic damage, but obviously with all the summons. Ah, this is very nice though for Noak. So a few units here. Spellbreakers might be necessary. So you're having the Spellbreakers alongside, but he doesn't really want to afford to lose anything. Keeps sending units. Ah. A trapped peasant. I'm not sure I agree with that. More summons are coming in. There we go. So he's starting to just chuck them at him, almost like siege engines, just one after the other. So we've got two Chimeras. Yeah, I don't think you can sell Mountain Giant. I'm pretty sure that Mountain Giant is the one that you can't sell if it's got resistant skin upgraded. There's a nice little mix of units here. But as long as that Transmute is out and about, it's hard to deal with. Kind of looks like the Great Wall wins these kind of hero fights because of the summons, but again, if Noak gets the right burst damage with the Chemical Rage combo alongside Stormbolt, he's going to be in the best... Really, the key to go for is the Pit Lord here, because he can actually damage the Pit Lord with all three of his heroes. The Paladin can Holy Light it, the Mountain King can Stormbolt it, and the Alchemist can beat it to a pulp with Chemical Rage. Whereas the Panda will, at level 8, have a little bit of Drunken Brawler, which means that he has a chance to dodge attacks, evade attacks, so he's not really a great target to go for. Plus he's got pretty high armor. Beastmaster's actually got higher armor as well. The Pit Lord actually only has 4 armor. A decent chunk of health though, to be fair for him. The summons just keep on coming. Keep on coming. And I think they will slowly siege away. Although the siege engines can come in, as long as Nox doesn't lose them, he can do okay with these. Because they're quite nasty. Staff of Sanctuary will basically not only send them back to base, but it will also repair them, by the way. Should send them to the barracks or something like that. You can see it's repairing it quite quickly. The Alchemist, invisible here. Lovely. What's he going to get? 696 gold. $960. That's a lot. So that's 66 gold. 366 gold? God, I'm terrible at math. I feel like I'm not missing it. I'm missing it, but you guys can work it all out. He's getting a lot of gold back though. So he can kind of repair the damage that is pretty much being done by these summons with that gold that he's getting back over time. The Alchemist is trapped, but the Staff of Sanctuary should be able to keep him out of this. And he's might actually just be able to fight his way out. Look at how this is a fortified building, and look at this Chemical Rage go. Hey, up in the air you go. Siege tanks doing what they need to do. Staff of Sanctuary's got to be safe from them, or they can just walk out of this. Are we going to see some burst fire? It really comes down to utilising the Chemical Rage for as long as possible. Oh, the Mountain King is stuck. Can he manage to escape? He can go around the other way. It looks like he's safe. I'm not sure if... that's a horrible time for someone to lag. Bit awkward. I'm not going to lie. Just a little bit awkward. Especially under these stressful circumstances. There it is. That is some huge burst damage. But unfortunately Chemical Rage runs out, so he can't utilise it quite enough. Really what he's looking for, okay, here, is the Stormbolt connecting with the hero whilst his Alchemist is next to the target of that Stormbolt. And that Alchemist already has just started Chemical Rage. That is going to be the optimum, maximum amount of damage you are going to get. And those two things need to combine at the same time. If the Alchemist spends too much time running towards his target... Oh my god, here we go. Look, the Pit Lord is taking a load of damage. Yeah, straight away. Very early staffed out. He's not messing around. He's not taking too many risks there. I think this is pretty good, though, for Nox overall. Staff of Sanctuary heals. Oh, down goes the pig. Medicine Man is out. And the stank... Why do I keep calling them stanks? The tank should survive. It should survive this, I think. Unless the panda has his way. Mountain King is a little bit confused. I'm not sure even how any cooldowns are on these Staff of Sanctuary. It says, yeah, it says that they're all available. Yeah, so they're still okay. Alchemist should probably have another transmute soon. He would have used it on the Mountain Giant if he could. Giant is just slowly running out of units, and Nox is actually starting to overwhelm him in terms of unit food cap. We're going to see a transmute here in a second. There we go. He's just biding time. The Alchemist is so good! So good! I was so skeptical seeing Alchemist first. I was like, not Archmage? What is this madness? And oh my god, has it been a game changer. Okay. According to Pillaging, apparently you cannot use transmute on summons. Which makes sense, I guess. But how cool would that be if you could? Using it on a Doom Guard. This is so funny. Priest is being doomed. Doom! And the Doom Guard is out. Tank might go down here because he's currently already being staffed, so he can't be restaffed, I don't think, under the circumstance. Giant is actually... I keep calling him Giant now. Great Wall. He's actually beasting through this a little bit. But Nox, as long as he keeps at this, will slowly be able to wear Great Wall away. But it's amazing how well Great Wall is still keeping in this. Do you know what I mean? Despite everything he's been up against. Fall back. Fall back. Do not lose a single unit. Oh, the focus on the Pit Lord. He's going to have to be staffed out. That's going to be 2 heroes now to focus on versus this army, which reduces the damage quite significantly in many ways, because basically the Alchemist can no longer be debuffed so much by the Howl of Terror, so that's a huge deal. So the Pit Lord kind of needs to get back into the fight very quickly. And Great Wall's taking a lot of damage. Another staff there, which only leaves him with his Panda Arrive? Alive? I can't even talk anymore. It's been too long. Too much commentating going on. And the Alchemist. Back up to full health. But he's lost a lot of his mana. What happened to the Sobi Mask? Don't tell me he lost the... Oh, he swapped it over to the Paladin. He needs to swap it back onto the Alchemist now. But obviously when you're in the heat of the battle and all this kind of stuff, you're not always thinking about these things. But from a commentator point of view, I would probably tell you, oh, look at you! Clever girl. He actually swapped over to the Mountain King because he's value in Storm Bolts more than he's value in... the Transmute, because he's got enough mana for a Transmute and enough mana probably for an Acid Bomb as well by the time he gets round to it, and a Chemical Rage. So Noax doesn't really have that much left. He's got to fight versus quite a lot here, but I think, I mean, I thought the game was kind of over a while ago, but the Great Wall has kind of shown you. He's put his name to the task. He is literally a wall. It's taken a lot to get through this guy, despite the advantage that the Alchemist has of Transmute. He's really done a great job of just... Blinky the bear manages to just say, you want to surround me? Nope. Ain't gonna happen. It just waltzes on by and starts crushing human towers. How fantastic was that? That was like a really good try and a surround, and he's just like, nope. I guess I give a lot of credit to the Alchemist, but would the Alchemist be... I mean, obviously he wouldn't be as good if he didn't have the Sobi Mask, but how much worse would he be without that Sobi Mask is kind of a question. Tanks are coming back in, but they won't last for long before they get staffed out. And bear in mind that if you're forced to staff these tanks out, there's going to be one less staff to be used on your heroes. And he might get too distracted here that he actually loses it. No, he's going to... Yeah, he concentrates on still keeping the tank alive, which is smart play. Just reducing every chance for Great Wall to actually get anything out of this. Mountain Giant's kind of a good choice here because he's still alive and he can't be transmuted. Can't get rid of him, really. Not easily. Can't Stormbolt him because of the resistant skin. He's just a big block. The Great Wall is starting to lose some of his wall, his Moonwells. I think this is it. He's being picked off bit by bit now. He's still got a lot to go through, but... Oh, one tank does go down. That might not sound like much, but we're going to lose some stuff here. Mountain King's been sent back to try to deal versus the Doom Guard. Great Wall's getting tired of this shit. He has to keep attacking. He has to keep going for this. It's kind of like a really long, slow, difficult base race, but it's still exciting. It's not like boring at all. It's just a difficult one because of the amount of damage that these players can do to one another, and they have to keep going at their buildings because they still can't kill each other's heroes. Not really. They can damage each other's heroes, but I don't think anyone's really connecting a secure kill. Chemical Rage just says no. Oh! Okay, can the Panda get out of this? Anti-magic potion, might have to use it, depending on whether his hero can get back to the Panda to send it out. Oh no. That's smart. He utilizes his ultimate and is going to send 2 of his ultimates over to just siege again the human base. The Great Wall actually might be able to freaking come back here. This is looking like... I mean, there's buildings scattered, but it's not going to take too much to kill them. We're going to get into a proper base race. And who has the biggest advantage in a base race? Well, a human player with mass steam tanks, but if they don't have that, potentially a Night Elf. Because of the ability to hide trees? Oh my god. Noax might not actually take this. I just thought he had it in the bag, but he just had to work towards it. But the Great Wall might actually still end up taking this. Oh my goodness, this is tense. Because the players are going to have to very carefully decide where they're going to send all their units, all their heroes, just to be as efficient as possible with their damage and siege style tactics. Now, Noix, he can destroy all of this stuff, but he has to realize that there is the potential that a Tree of Life is hidden somewhere. And that's near impossible to catch out. So he can't win this if he can't find the Tree of Lives. He has to have like a gyrocopter going around consistently, not being killed, and catching a Tree of Life. And that's so hard. There's still a lot of gold that he can hide, but it really comes down to destroying the heroes, which I think he's trying to chase down now. Now, one thing you could consider is that if he did decide to just keep going for these buildings and sacrifice some of his buildings for the time being, there'll be less buildings for Great Wall to Staff of Preservation, his heroes to. And it will give away the position potentially of where his Tree of Life, that his Staff of Preservation, his heroes to, is going. So that's a good way to indicate. You can't run back just to kill a single hawk or a summon like this. That's not going to cut it. I think we are realizing the harsh truth here, ladies and gentlemen. Noix's amazing alchemist might not necessarily be enough. It's interesting, he hasn't actually utilized this tree to the maximum effect by eating the trees yet to get into the most awkward position. He could just hide in so many places. He still can't get a kill though. So this chase isn't doing him any favors.
The town is under siege.
As hard as it is to sort of like give up on the chase, you need to realize that you just got to.
A player's forces
It's
are
not
under
comfortable
attack.
going through these buildings, but you got to do it. It's not getting easier. That's the potential to kill one of the heroes. Yep, he's turning tail. He's got enough buildings spread out that he has the chance to just go to town on a night off base. Witch Doctor sees you, Mr. Wisp. The Witch Doctor sees you. And even the Spirit Walker's still hidden there. Yeah, Noix isn't revealed, so Great Wall is still having to search him out, but he does have the advantage of like the Thunderhawk being able to scout the skies and see everything that's going on. Yeah, that's really important to get that town hall up. Super important. Dankest tanks. I don't think we even have any tanks left. 17 foods to just a couple of peasants and 3 heroes, basically. That sound when he hits the pit lord doesn't sound quite right, does it?
A player's forces are under attack.
Ah! Doom has been used on a witch doctor that belonged to another player that's left the game. That's funny. Just so you can use it. I guess it's kind of a harsh thing about Doom is that when there's no more units left, it's kind of an ultimate useless ultimate because you can't use it on a hero. Even a Blade Master just sitting there, we haven't even seen him. This is so awkward. I really want to see Noax just go for the throat now. Just go for the Night Elf base. With the Chemical Rage, he can do it. This is it. I mean, maybe he thinks there's still some units left. Because he doesn't know. He doesn't see what I see. But he can't keep chasing heroes because none of them are getting killed. If you manage to kill one of them, then I'm convinced. But it hasn't happened in like the last 15 minutes or so. If that. Even more. I don't know. He's just... I mean, he is out and alone, but I'm sure another hero can get to him in time. He needs that Mountain King and everything. So he's overcommitting to try to bring down these heroes. I mean, the one side, by doing so, it does keep the other heroes preoccupied and busy, you know? But it's like you're not really getting anything done. Neither player is getting anything done when that happens. It's still not working in your favour. You just got to go for the buildings. It is a base race at this point. Oh! Where's he teleporting to? See, that gives it away. If you fucking found out where he went, that's the most important thing. And the weird thing is, he actually moved that tree, didn't he? He moved it all the way from here over to here in that time. I guess you can understand why, because there's far more trees. Far, far, far more trees over here. But that's still a kind of awkward position that you wouldn't expect someone to be. But yes, good, good, good. Very good. Well done, Noax. I'm getting a little bit biased here, I've got to be honest. I want both players, like, I think they're both fantastic players, but I am slightly heading towards, amping towards Noax. Oh no, he's missing it. He just saw a Quill Beast come from an angle, so he can only assume that he's got to be nearby. The tree has got to be nearby.
A town is under siege.
Oh, Noax. He's not even hiding that well. Look harder. He's not even hiding that well with the tree. You have a really good chance to catch it out. I think that's all the peasants dead now. That is. Noax has no peasants left.
A player's forces are under attack.
And he only has a few buildings. He can potentially build more peasants. Mountain King going to town on the Mountain Giant. It's actually going to be quite effective with the bash procs. It's going to pretty much keep him under control. Ooh. He actually will get to kill all this. That's actually pretty good. I understand that. That's pretty good. That's good value for once. He's actually managed to get something out of this. That Mountain Giant got barely anything done. Down he goes. So that's one less thing to worry about. Now it's just the heroes to keep those under control. And if... Oh my god. Where did that come from? Did he sell an item or something? The Great Wall has picked up a Chimera. Not only just to scat the skies, again, like the Thunderhawk, but Siege. Oh, no, 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 there could be a transmute if he's not paying attention. Can he actually see the Chimera, though? Because it's above ground. I don't think he can actually see it. I think it's out of his vision. Do you know what I mean? He needs the Chimera to attack his Alchemist, and then he can see it.
A player's forces are under attack.
Yeah! Because on his screen, this is black, this area. But he knows there's a Chimera there, but it's black. I don't know what you do here.
A town is under siege. A player's forces are under attack.
Noax is down to only a couple of buildings left, and they're pretty much spotted. He's got 2 minutes now until he becomes fully revealed, and he's got all of this to work through, which I think he should have left the Alchemist just tearing to pieces, to be honest. Maybe with the Paladin nearby. He does have the chance, if he manages to pick off everything, that could potentially offensively attack his buildings, because then the only thing that can attack his buildings is the Night Elf's heroes. But the problem is the Night Elf hero has the equivalent of siege engines, which is, like I mentioned, the summons earlier. So he can just keep chucking the summons over and over. And even if the summons only do like 1 damage per hit, and then die, he only has to do that 650 times, and then he'll eventually kill it. The point is he can basically kill it eventually. So I really don't know. The Great Wall needs to just keep checking. It is painful. I understand where these players are coming from. This is hard. But he needs to keep going. Keep going. Keep going. He's got to be careful with the Chimera though. You can't scout very easily with that because obviously you're being caught out and transmuted. Wow, how quickly that Quill Beast goes down. He might actually transmute a Wisp here. No. He's being revealed.
The town is under siege.
Is he going to finally start sieging this main base? Yes, he actually does get the Wisp. He's chasing after the Pit Lord. There's a chance he could kill the Pit Lord, considering the position of the other players. But his Chemical Rage is going to run out, so he's not going to be able to do much damage. So I think his other hero is going to get there in time. He needs to get off this focus on the hero. Although, to be fair, he's got another Chemical Rage in him in a second, but the Panda will reach him in time.
The town is under siege.
Oh, no. Now it's the Panda's turn to be focused. But then someone else will just come to rescue him. Oh, no, maybe not. He's actually going for the Quill Beast instead. Oh, no. No. He's going on the Panda. But the Panda's got an ultimate, which we just see. So Noix is not really learning the lesson here. Like, it's a very stressful situation and it's frustrating, I can understand, but he's not learning it. He just needs to kill this base. It's not easy. Maybe he just thinks that can't be done, but I don't see what other choice he has. Why does it feel like Rory, the purple orc, has kind of scattered all of this? He's almost like he's still in the game. He's just watching the other players. He had the Witch Doctor over here watching. Now he's got the Blade Master scatting their movements, and he's got these Wyverns that's kind of keeping an eye on the expansion over here. Quick! Get the Tome of Agility. This is an epic game, but that is a harsh way to go down. All that hard work and then dying to something you can't really help. Tree of Life is eating over here. Something's gone wrong. What's he doing? Yeah, it's a new mic. It's a new time. He's finally going for this base. Just needs to bring the Paladin over so he can get a few heals and keep him in the game. He can siege through this base pretty quickly. Oh, you got to be so careful abandoning that. Oh. So much to keep an eye on here. I'm not sure why Great Wall isn't going for it though, because he knows he's revealed. Oh, yep. Pit Lord returning to the Tree of Life from whence he was born, naturally as a demon. Paladin's now solo DPSing. Ah! Chimera's over here. Quill Beast is too late. Oh, that Panda is out and about, but again, he's still going to have his ultimate up at this time, I think. Oh, how painful. Where is Noix's last building? Pretty sure it was over there. I'm not even sure where his last building is now. I'm not even sure how he's still in the game. Ah.
Players' forces are under attack. The town is under siege.
Panda is just buying so much time.
A player's forces are under attack.
Good luck getting us around on that.
The town is under siege.
Okay, well the Panda doesn't know if he's ultimate anymore. But he does have the Beastmaster over here somewhat nearby. He could actually sell an item here just to get Star for teleportation. Or invisibility. Ah my god! This could be it! Oh my god! That's the ultimate combat! The Panda is going down! Unless the dust disappears. Oh my god! After all of that! After all of that! Panda being down is so critical that just leaves the Pit Lord left. Although we do have the summons coming out, and they are heading in one direction, and it's to the farm. Ay, ay, ay. Better be ready. It looks like he's ready to defend first, is it? But he can't repair the farm. Goes by it. He just goes by it. Quick, get back. That is chaos damage. Got to kill that very quickly. Now you just got to kill 2 other heroes whilst keeping that farm alive. Easy. That's not difficult at all. How did he get that Doom Guard? You can't use it on air, I don't think. Did he build a Wisp just so he could Doom Guard it? Or did he use it on a summon? Maybe use it on his own summon. There's still freaking trees everywhere. But it looks like he's... Oh, he almost cottoned on over here.
A player's forces are under attack.
This is so hard to deal with.
Righto.
So hard to deal with. But if he catches another hero out... Look, he just got Doom again. Damn it, I missed it. That was short cooldown as well, what the hell?
A player's forces are under attack.
He's trying to catch this guy out and I understand it, but... Will the Chemical Raged Alchemist be enough to take down the Doom Guard? Plus the bear who tried to blink but kind of failed there because he's coming up. Yeah, that looks rough to me. I don't think you're coming out of this one. No, you did so well this game. Fighting 2 versus 1, 1 versus 2 for the majority, but the Great Wall. Oh my goodness. Actually managed to come back in the end now. What a game. What an amazing game. Freaking hell. So much. Look at the units killed. Look at the heroes killed. Look at the levels. It's just insane what happened in this game. The gold. Yeah, the gold is ridiculous levels here. We got 60,000 on average around that mark. And then up to 29k on gold loss there. Absolute madness. Wow. What a game. Alright. Well, thankfully we came to a conclusion and... It looks like the Great Wall takes the victory. So congratulations to the Great Wall and very well played by everyone else in the game. What a tough game. What a tough game indeed. Well done everyone. Alright then, thank you everyone for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this. If you did, then feel free to thumbs up the video or subscribe or share this with your friends. Or strangers if you don't have any friends, which is understandable. And
Righto.
I'll see you later. Take care. Bye bye.